things off like we always do, and at number 10 we have the Blair Witch Project. So what is this movie about? Well, 3 film students mysteriously disappear in the woods near Burkittsville, Maryland. And this is while they were shooting a documentary. But 1 year later, after they vanished, their footage was found. So this movie was originally released in 1999. So even after 20 years, I think that the Blair Witch Project is one of the scariest found footage films of all time. And it doesn't even have any jump scares, no script, no music, no special effects. You don't even see the witch in the entire movie, but with all of that in mind, you still get an uneasy feeling when you watch it. And that's because it just makes you so uncomfortable watching people struggle with their biggest fears. Oh, and it's also going to make you incredibly paranoid whenever you're outside because you feel like someone or something is always behind you. Sorry, I thought I heard something. They're just waiting for you to make a move. Up next, number 9, we have We have Hush. I saw this movie on Netflix, but I definitely wasn't watching it alone. I was too scared. This cult classic is a home invasion movie about a deaf woman facing off against a deranged masked murderer. The director did a really good job of immersing the audience into the main character's point of view. In some scenes you won't hear anything because the director wants you to give a taste of what it's like to be in her shoes. It's absolutely terrifying and it really makes you feel uneasy and tense. Hush will make you want to double check all of the locks on your doors and windows, and you'll probably think twice about wearing noise-canceling headphones while you're home alone. The Hills Have Eyes is at number 7. What's more scary than psychotic mutants trying to murder you? Absolutely nothing. The answer is nothing. The Hills Have Eyes is about a suburban family who became stranded in the Nevada desert shortly after they discovered that they're being hunted by a cannibalistic family who will stop at nothing to get a taste of their human flesh. There are some probably hard scenes to watch in this movie, so you're definitely going to want to watch with a buddy. Oh, and if you drive, you should get a car checked by a mechanic because you don't want to find yourself stranded on the side of a road. You just never know if there's a murderous serial killer waiting for you in a ditch along the side of the road. Halloween stabs its way into number 6. John Carpenter's Halloween is truly a classic horror movie that has stood the test of time. This is a movie that doesn't rely solely on gory scenes filled with blood splatter. Instead, Halloween relies more on the gut-wrenching suspense, first-person camera shots, and of course we have the iconic movie score that still haunts all of our dreams. This is a movie that leaves you with an unsettling feeling in your stomach. We have a knife-wielding serial killer who quietly invades the small town of Haddonfield, killing anything and everything in its way. It's a movie that has been chilling us to our core for over 4 decades now, which is incredible that it's able to last through time like that. And if you decide to watch it alone, you will probably want to check every corner of your house because you never know what shadowy murderer could be lurking in the darkness. And now bringing us to number 5 on our list is Paranormal Activity. A young couple recently moved into a new home, but later discovered, well, they're not alone. Instead, their house is terrorized by a demonic force that is especially active at nighttime. You shouldn't watch this movie alone because it plays on some of your biggest fears, like people staring at you while you're sleeping, and the possibility of capturing scary ghost footage on tape. The movie is filmed in a way that makes you believe that it is actually somebody's home movie. It leaves you dreading the scene shot at night because they make you feel as if ghosts are watching you while you sleep. Have you ever thought of recording your own room while you're sleeping? Well, this movie will make you think differently about that. I know for me, I just can't do it. Apparently the last few minutes of the movie will ruin your life, so I'd advise you to not watch this movie. Well, 1, unless you never want to sleep again, or 2, if you don't mind knowing that ghosts are watching you while you're peacefully sleeping. Number 4 takes us over to You're Next. Like, you're next. This is a movie about a quiet family vacation home that becomes overrun by crazed murderous people wearing scary animal masks. If you live in an isolated area that is surrounded by trees, well, this movie is going to make you want to put up a for sale sign on your front yard. You're Next is full of unexpected turns, a plot twist of your typical slasher scenes, but keep in mind this is a home invasion movie, so it's probably not a good idea to be watching this alone on a Friday night, because after watching this movie, you'll probably spend all of your time checking every single inch of your house for an intruder, or you'll be hiding underneath your bed like I did. Number 3, we have The Strangers. If you're home alone, do not watch The Strangers, cause it will probably ruin any good chance of you having a good night's sleep. So yeah, trust me with that one. The Strangers is about a couple that went on a romantic getaway, but But things got ugly after a failed proposal. Strangers approached their doors with masks on, ready to kill. I don't know what's more terrifying than 3 masked murderous psychopaths trying to get into your home at night. The premise of this movie just feels way too real compared to the other horror movies that are just so far-fetched. This home invasion could literally happen to any one of us at any time. So if you haven't already done so, lock those doors, shut those windows, and turn your alarms on if you guys have an alarm system in your house, because who knows who could be breaking into your house. But if you are the daring type, then you'll love watching the sequel The Strangers Prey at Night, but don't say I didn't warn you. The Conjuring scares us at number 1. Is this real life right now? Well, this horror movie is based on true events that occurred in a farmhouse in Harrisville, Rhode Island. 2 owners and their 5 daughters are being terrorized and tortured by a dark presence that is lurking in their farmhouse. In desperation, the family contacted world-renowned demonologists Ed and Lorraine Warren to help them to get rid of the demon. But this evil spirit might be too much to handle. This movie will make you want to steer clear of old farmhouses for the rest of your life, and it will probably give you about 3 to 4 heart attacks. There are a ton of jump scenes in this film, and trust me, no one is safe, and it probably makes things 100 times worse knowing that this actually is based on a true story. It just makes the whole experience of watching the movie really uncomfortable to watch, especially because something like this can happen to you, and for a long time, you're probably going to be scared every time someone claps. If you've seen this movie, then you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Coming in at number 9 is The Wandering Earth. Now this is actually a Chinese sci-fi movie that was released last year, and most of you guys probably haven't heard of it because it is in Mandarin, but it was actually one of the biggest, highest grossing movies of last year. And I think we're well past the point where a movie has to be in English for me to recommend it, like hello, subtitles, read, put that education to good use. Yeah, anyway, the movie is set in the year 2061, where the sun has now aged quite a bit and is about to turn into a red giant, thus entering Earth's orbit and royally screwing us. The United Earth government hatches a plan to get Earth out of the Milky Way solar system and into the Alpha Centauri one in order to preserve human life. A group of rescue workers and astronauts are trying to guide Earth away from the sun while also not colliding with Jupiter, which is very hard because Jupiter's big. If you're still not convinced, just get this. Their budget was $50 million and they made $700 million at the box office, and it's on Netflix, so go watch it. I'm probably gonna watch it this weekend, or maybe even today. At number 8 we have Children of Men. This 2006 sci-fi thriller was directed by Alfonso Cuarón and stars actors like Clive Owen, Julianne Moore, and Michael Caine. The plot takes place in 2027, which isn't that much into the future from right now, but I mean, the movie did come out like 14 years ago, so let's just give it that. Either way, in this world, humans have been infertile for 2 decades now, leaving the whole world on the actual edge of collapse and extinction. There are only 2 functioning, albeit oppressive governments still running, the UK and Angola. Theo, an activist turned bureaucrat, is kidnapped by a militant immigrant group and introduced to Key, a refugee who is secretly pregnant. She's the only one that can perhaps cure the infertility that's ravaged the earth, but Theo soon realizes the group wants to kill her. And I'll let you guys find out the rest if you want to watch it. And just to preface this one as well, in 2016 it was voted 13th out of 100 films considered the best of the 21st century. Zam, Zeddy. Filling on number 7 slot is Bird Box. I never even saw adverts for this movie's release, then it came out on Netflix and suddenly I'm seeing memes about it everywhere. Either way, Bird Box came out back in 2018 and is based on the book of the same name and stars Sandra Bullock as the protagonist. In this world, there are some kind of supernatural entities that have invaded the earth that make you go insane and commit suicide if you look at them. They essentially just show you your worst fear, which I mean is extremely problematic and scary in and of itself. Then most of the movie is shot with the characters in blindfold, so that's just eerie. I haven't seen it, but I've heard it's quite good, so do let me know in the comments below if you have seen it, if you decide to watch it, and maybe I will too. I don't know, who knows? Nobody knows. Now at number 6 is Interstellar, which I feel like is a movie that everyone has heard of. Now Interstellar came out back in 2014 and is a sci-fi drama directed by Christopher Nolan. It stars A-listers like Matthew McConaughey, Anne Hathaway, and Jessica Chastain. In terms of the plot now, it's set in a future where a slowly dying Earth had put humanity on the brink of extinction. A team of NASA scientists, engineers, and pilots attempt to find a new habitable planet via interstellar travel. Who would have guessed? best, right? Interstellar travel. It's called Interstellar. Literally, come on now. The group of astronauts then travel through a wormhole near Saturn in search of a new home for humanity. And I saw this movie in my first year of uni, and honestly it was so bloody long. It was made impeccably, but it just didn't wow me. I was like, so much of this could have been cut out. But the movie seriously makes you think, so it is a must watch, just not for me. Would not watch again. Barely even watched it the first time. Coming in at number 5 is San Andreas. This one came out back in 2015 and stars A-listers like The Rock, Kylie Minogue, Carla Gugino, and Alexandra Daddario. Now, the movie follows the Gaines family who live in San Francisco just as a 9.1 magnitude earthquake coming from the San Andreas fault line devastates the whole state. Now, I actually really liked this movie. I think I saw it twice even. And yes, I know Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson basically just plays himself in every movie, but he is a likable guy. I'm not gonna lie. The family is spread out all over the city, and you just follow Dwayne trying to save everyone, which is made slightly easier by the fact Gaines is a helicopter rescue pilot. Be like, I'm coming to get you, honey. At number 4 is Sunshine. Directed by Danny Boyle, the sci-fi psychological thriller was released back in 2007, but takes place in the future in the year 2057. In this world, the sun is dying and the earth is freezing over, so a group of astronauts climb aboard the Icarus II to go on a sort of suicide mission to try and reignite the Earth. On the way there, they come across Icarus 1, a previous mission that was going to essentially do the same thing, and the group tries gaining control of the ship because apparently 2 Icaruses are better than 1. I mean, the fate of the whole world does lie on the shoulders of this crew, so I mean, I'd be feeling the pressure too. Give me the 3rd Icarus too, let's all just go. Either way, I haven't seen this one, but Danny Boyle usually never disappoints, and Cillian Murphy is the protagonist, and I don't mind seeing him on my screen at all. He's very hot. I haven't seen Peaky Blinders, but I want to just because he's the main character. Either way, filling at number 3 slot is The Day After Tomorrow. This 2004 sci-fi movie was directed by Roland Emmerich and stars big names like Jake Gyllenhaal, Dennis Quaid, Emmy Rossum, and more. The movie is based on a book called The Coming Global Superstorm, so you can guess that the end of the world in the movie was brought about due to climate change. Now, the plot follows the Earth after the North Atlantic's ocean circulation gets disrupted due to a bunch of extreme weather events that essentially cause an ice age. Quaid plays a paleoclimatologist that tries warning everyone about an impending disaster at a UN conference, but to no avail. Natural disasters start striking Canada, then Scotland, Siberia, Tokyo, New York, and more. You may as well watch it to see what'll happen to the Earth if COVID-19 doesn't take us first. That's what I'm gonna say. Now at number 2 is Melancholia. Directed by Lars von Trier and released in 2011, this sci-fi drama was a mega hit according to critics. Starring actors like Kristen Dunst, Kiefer Sutherland, and Alexander Skarsgård, the plot follows 2 sisters right before a rogue planet is about to collide with Earth. So yeah, tensions are pretty high, and one of the sisters is just about to get married, so I mean a bridezilla is bad enough, but the world ending and bridezilla? Give me the strength, Lord! When the star Antares is no longer visible in the sky, it becomes public knowledge that a rogue planet called Melancholia has entered the solar system but will pass by Earth. And I mean, it does end up passing Earth, only for everyone to realize it's getting bigger and is about to take a U-turn. Straight for us. Boomerang effect. And finally, at number 1 is 2012. This will forever be my favorite end of the world movie, that's why I put it as number 1. I know it's biased, I don't even care. I scripted the video, sue me. Now, back when everyone thought the world was ending in December of 2012 because of the Mayan calendar, and then December came and we lived another day, so it was like, that was anticlimactic. 2012 actually came out in 2009, not even 2012, and was directed by Roland Emmerich, and it was wild. And he's also now been on this list twice, so I mean, I feel like this is a niche that he really likes. I feel like I've never seen CGI like that before in my life. Roads were cracking open, the earth was literally opening up, but also it was so damn realistic. Now, realizing the world is very shortly about to end, the GA create arcs that can house 100,000 people each, but one ticket aboard one is $1 billion, so you can imagine it's only the top 1% getting in that shit. The movie follows chauffeur Jackson Curtis and his family as they try and survive the collapse of the world, and it is impeccable. I loved it.
Next up, number 8, we have Grave Encounters. This movie came out in 2011, and the movie is about a ghost hunting reality television show. Well, they're filming an episode inside of an abandoned Collingwood psychiatric hospital. There were so many stories about the paranormal activities that has been going on there for years. Now at number 6, we have one of my favorite movies, and I also think it's one of the scariest movies ever because I think this movie could actually happen for real. And I'm talking about Final Destination. This is a movie where people always seem to cheat death, but death is not done with them. Death tries to catch up with them. The first film that started it all was released back in 2000. A lot of these Final Destination movies came out at the beginning of this decade. There are so many movies that have come out, I'm not even sure which one is my favorite. I think all of them. Alright, number 5 is Sinister. I mean, take a look at this movie poster. This was the movie poster for this movie. I mean, that's scary enough for me not to want to watch this. I mean, you see a woman wiping her blood all over the wall, and you can see a demon face in the blood. The budget for the film was only $3 million, but that's all they needed. It was a smashing success at the box office, bringing in almost $100 million. I mean, that's a great return on investment. You spend $3 million, you get $100 million back. Not bad. Next up at number 3, I can't keep this movie off this list, and I'm glad this became a movie because I was way too intimidated to read this book because it was just way too big. Okay, you guys pretty much know what movie I'm talking about. If it isn't Dead, We Kill It. At number 1 was really good. It's a long movie, but it was really well put together in my opinion. The first movie came out in 2017 and made over $700 million. And finally, in at number 1, I don't even think this should have become a movie because, well, this just encourages people to do this more. Well, I'm talking about Ouija, Origin of Evil. There is nothing scarier than this. And that's because people do use the Ouija board to communicate with the dead. I've done it and the plaquette moved on its own and we all swore that no one was moving it, and I believe them all. The scary part about this whole thing is you never know who or what you're communicating with. The only thing scarier, I think, than the Ouija board is turning off the lights and saying Bloody Mary 3 times in the bathroom mirror.